I'm ready. Believe that. So as we know, day two of Minnesota Vikings OTAs are done. A lot of news coming out of EAGAN. I'm gonna get into the article, really break it down. Some more news about Jalen Nailor. Speculations is rumors are actually it's not even rumors, it's facts. He's put on weight, gotten jacked. That's gonna play a major. That's gonna be a major key for him going into the season. As we know, this is a big season for him. He's coming up on a contract renewal. If he performs well, it's a lot of questions. Will he keep that number 3 wide receiver spot? Will the rookie um, Felton come in and bang and battle with him? So a lot of questions up in the air for Naylor, right? How will he produce? This is a big season. Matter of fact, his biggest season. But the fact he has gained weight, put on proper muscle mass, and I'm sure he retained his speed. Whew, it's gonna be trouble. It could get real spooky for opposing defenses, homie. Period. If he has improved his catching, dog, sky's the limit. Matter of fact, it's no limit for that dude. But a lot of information to cover, and we shit from the outside looking in, fans, we're pretty much reading the news, reading the articles, waiting to find out what exactly happened this day, that day. Same as training camp. Unless you're at the practice, observing the practice day in, day out, you really don't know what's going on. So at this time of the off season, you're pretty much waiting for the stories, waiting for the articles to be put out, right? Heavy, homie. But OTAs have begun. You know, we really in the mix, really in the thick of the off season, bro. Hands down, man down. This is when the separation begins. Matter of fact, it has already begun, starting with the rookie mini camps, huh? Mandatory rookie camp, et cetera, et cetera. So boom, we are here. Football is in the air. Can you smell it? You gotta blow it out, right? Heavy, dog. The big story, the biggest questions will be about JJMcCarthy until the first snap of the season. That's just the bottom line, right? Anytime you have a new quarterback taking the realms, taking the helm of the team, becoming a leader, it's going to be all eyes on him. And so far, so good for McCarthy. So far, so good. But he has a long way to go, long journey. They haven't even put the pads on yet, but it's a very good start for him, homie. Just showing the confidence, exuding the belief, the talent, everything we've been expecting and waiting for. We're going to see. We're going to see. The time is now. The time has come. So we know what it is. It's JJ McCarthy's team, period. Officially his team. Boom. Let's get into it, dog. Let's break this article down real quick. No need to waste more time. The new addition to the Vikings, right, homie? we know the new additions: Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargraves. How did they look? How will they perform? And right now, you can't really tell too much. I mean, you can see how players move, how they look, where their stamina is at. But as far as putting the pads on, one-on-ones, being physical, who's ready, who stood out, you can tell slightly. But until they really get down to the nitty-gritty, put the pads on, huh? Really line it up, get at it, get it action. No one will really know for sure. Let's get into it, man. Minnesota Vikings news and links. 2 days of OTAs are done. How did our QB look? Here we go. The first 2 days of OTAs are in the books, and it is all good, right? I think it is. And it's nice to see JJ McCarthy out there getting those first team reps. I mean, that's pretty much what we expected, huh? JJ McCarthy said he wanted a fair chance, and he's getting that chance. But from the offseason coming in, we pretty much knew JJ McCarthy was the guy. The starting position was his. It's up for him to lose. I don't think, and I guarantee he's not losing it. You hear me? Period, dog. We got a long ways to go, but it is a start. If I'm going to be honest, I was not a big fan when he was coming out of college. It seemed like too much hype, and the draft talk about trading multiple high picks to get him was too much for my taste. I am happy that the team did not give up very much to secure him. I was surprised when the Falcons took Michael Penix and would have wondered if the Vikings would have taken him instead of JJ. Maybe they do not trade up if both were on the board. I believe they would have taken JJ due to his age and injury history at the time. Well, right now, it doesn't matter. JJ McCarthy is the guy. Penix is with the Falcons, and it is what it is. Who gonna shine bright? Let's get it. I was impressed after seeing that first preseason game. Facts. He made the passes he needed to make to get some scores and show very good mobility. It is going to be exciting to see him play in the preseason game, which he should. The next organized team activities, the schedule is OTAs May 27th through 28th, May 30th, June 2nd through the 3rd, June 5th, June 16th, June 18th. Mandatory minicamp, June 10th to the 12th. Then it's pretty much downhill from there, dog. It's really rolling. It's really rolling. Mandatory minicamp, it is really rolling, huh? Minnesota Vikings news and links. How did JJ McCarthy look at OTAs? Well, bigger, faster, stronger. And that's what we all wanted to see. We know the development part of it, but the rehab part, could he gain his weight back? Could he keep his speed, mobility? And he has done that. Great news. That's how JJ McCarthy described himself physically following Wednesday's OTA practice at TCO Performance Center, which was open to the media. And big shout out to the training staff, dog, the strength and conditioning coach, the physical therapist, right? The rehab staff. They've done a great job, seemingly done a great job with JJ McCarthy and his rehab, homie. Like he said, bigger, faster, stronger. What more could you ask for? I would quote Larry David to characterize his practice. Pretty good. Shout out, man. Question: did McCarthy throw the ball with similar velocity and accuracy as we saw him from last year in training camp? Answer: yes. He completed most of his passes with a high degree of accuracy. One in particular stood out: a deep out route to Jordan Addison that was around 20 yards downfield. That's what's up. That's one of the biggest questions about McCarthy. People question his accuracy. I've questioned his accuracy or inaccuracy. But the fact that he's on point, throwing some pretty balls, beautiful, baby. Let's get it. 3 observations: JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, an offensive focus on growth, fast-paced defense, Vikings newcomers. McCarthy threw passes, all bet in a helmet and shorts, and executed handoffs during 7-on-7 drills and some non-contact 11-on-11 sessions. He also continued growing in head coach Kevin O'Connell's system, appreciating valuable time to develop above the neck aspects of playing the sport's hardest position. In the 7-on-7 space, I think you can really get a feel for, is a guy reading with his feet? Is he taking the right drop? Is he base in body and balance position to the throws and sequence of the drop in the proper place? And did he make the throw? And then was it accurate? And then you can kind of coach backwards from the ending of the play. O'Connell explained when asked about assessing progression. Then there's a lot of things like, did the other guys do their jobs? And that's why it's so great to have the participation of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. And we got a group out here. Hold on, what? This thing keeps fucking skipping around, man. And we've got a group out there and guys that know what they're doing, so they can give him some real-time feedback as well. Hey, I know you went elsewhere with the football, but hey, I'm going to win at the top of this route, regardless of the leverage. That's something he's going to get used to hearing from number 18, Jefferson, early and often. Little things like that, O'Connell added. It's just you can't measure the importance of those things. But then today was a little bit more decisive than yesterday. Friday will be the same. And there will just be growth and growth. O'Connell said the Vikings are approaching these sessions by having a significant amount of offense in the practices. We'd be doing a disservice if we try to work real slowly with the material and plays, O'Connell said. The better thing we can do is throw a lot at the group, see who's handling what, because we've got other new guys in all 3 phases that we're trying to see. Where are they going to slot and fit when it comes to the competition phase in the fall? Yeah, dog. Gotta throw them to the wolves, right? Can't sit back and coddle them and baby them. They're NFL players now. Best of the best, elite of the elite. How can they do? Let's find out quickly and swiftly. Pace intercepting around the ball. Shout out Ivan Pace. As we know, Ivan Pace, big season for him. coming up on a contract season, homie, contract year. Will he get that extension or will he be let go? It's all on him. O'Connell emphasized the importance of not placing too much weight on outcomes of plays at this point in the calendar. There was good for the Vikings and bad on the very first snap of 7-on-7. McCarthy targeted Jefferson on his first pass, but the ball looped up slightly, and Byron Murphy Jr. knew just what to do. He came, oh my gosh, why does this thing keep skipping, bro? 1 second, man. It's irritating, bro. Hell out of here, dog. Swear. He came in and contacted the football, which went right to the linebacker, Ivan Pace Jr., for an interception. And, hey, mistakes happen. Better get the mistakes out the way now, correct? You know, make the mistakes, fix them, learn from them, point blank, period. The real season comes, that's when it matters. Heavy. Pace also was able to knock a ball out before Aaron Jones. Pace was able to knock a ball out before Aaron Jones Sr. completed a catch and surged through the line of scrimmage on a blitz during 11-on-11 action. McCarthy did lock in with multiple other receivers and dropped one in the bucket to Jefferson for a touchdown later in practice. 2, O-line combo. Very excited about the O-line. I think Vikings fans as a whole are very excited about the O-line and how they will look. The Vikings spent considerable time and energy in remaking the offensive line this offseason. New center Ryan Kelly manned the pivot and was joined on his left by first-round pick Donovan Jackson. Blake Brandell, who started at left guard in 2024, moved to the right guard. Very interesting, very interesting. Where free agent addition Will Fries is projected to start. Fries is on the mend from a broken leg he suffered last season. So Will Fries, they're going to pretty much take it easy with him, I'm sure, not rushing back into action. And right now they don't got to. He can take his time, do his rehab, boom, be 110%, right, dog? When the season starts, you know who he is. You know he's a mauler. It's just about him learning the playbook, staying zoned in and focused. It was no surprise that Brian O'Neill manned the right tackle spot. But instead of Christian Darrisaw, who was recovering from a knee injury in Week 8 last season, it was veteran newcomer Justin SKOL at left tackle for the first grouping of offensive linemen. And we pretty much know Christian Darrisaw, you don't need him at OTAs. Let him get healthy. Let him rest. No need to put him on the field. We're talking about a guy who is arguably the best left tackle when healthy in the NFL. We know he's top 2, top 3, hands down, man down, period. Defensive newcomers step right in. The Vikings defense continues to evolve under Brian Flores. Are you shocked? 2 things stood out. Despite again adding multiple newcomers to the mix and utilizing varied groupings and formations, the smoothness and communication before the snap and the group speed during the plays. Up front, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave began their teamwork that is designed to reach full force once the pads go on. Veteran cornerback Jeff Okudah was involved early in coverage, lining up opposite of Murphy in a 7-on-7 grouping that also included Pace and Blake Cashman at inside linebacker, Andrew Van Ginkel on the edge, and Harrison Smith and Theo Jackson at safety. Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers and all-arounder Joshua Metellus were not at the voluntary session. Jay Ward also logged some work in filling in for Metellus. So we talk about depth at the cornerback position, safety position, especially the safety position. I think it will be one of the best positions in the NFL. I mean, as far as the Vikings will have one of the best safety rooms in the NFL. They do have one of the best safety rooms in the NFL, period. Jeff Okudah, I mean, he will be expected to play. That's why he was brought in. And that's what Brian Flores does. Brings guys in early, gets them adapted to the new defense, puts them in the right position, and boom, we're going to see who can play, dog. Period, homie. Ivan Pace, Blake Cashman, we know who they are as players. Great, phenomenal athletes, homie. Let's get it. He's a tremendous talent. JJ McCarthy talks about Justin Jefferson, sends clear message about chemistry. He's a tremendous talent, tremendous leader, but his leadership really shows up when he's here. And, just being able to get, that chemistry building on and off the field has been invaluable. That's what it's about. Chemistry, cohesion, practicing, getting the reps after practice, getting the reps before practice, building that relationship, that bond, that report. So when it's time for the real season, it's like second nature, no second guessing, nothing. Go out there and let it fly, let it rip. Let's get it. We spent a good amount of time. The Wolves games was interesting, being mic'd up and all that. But yeah, we spent a good amount of time together. McCarthy was directly asked about how much work they got together last year, and he gave both an honest and vague answer. Last year, I don't know the specific amount of reps, but I would say it's probably not as much as it is now. And it's every receiver that I'm with. It's that timing, those reps, all of that has to be built up over time. So the more reps, the better. And yeah, I just feel like we're not where we want to be, but we're going to be there when we need to. Facts. That's what it's about, man. Put the work in, keep grinding, baby. Let's get it. JJ McCarthy is bigger, stronger, faster, and smarter in year 2. JJ McCarthy says he's bigger, faster, stronger than he was at this time last year. That's big news for the Minnesota Vikings, and clearly part of the reason why the franchise elected to move forward with him instead of giving Aaron Rodgers or anyone else a chance to lead the purple to the promised land. McCarthy credits natural aging. He turned 22 on January 20th for his physical improvements, and still young, growing into his body. Hasn't reached his prime yet, correct? So he's growing into his body. Bigger, faster, stronger. That's what it's about around yonder. Let's get it, man. SKOL Vikes. Run, lose, or draw, period. Believe that. I would say just naturally age. Being able to be here the entire offseason, work out 5 days a week, and just consistently stack those days, because over time it's going to show up how I feel now. McCarthy said after the Vikings held an organized team activity on Wednesday. It also helps that he's 10 months removed from the torn meniscus that ended his rookie season after one preseason game. It feels amazing, he said, of being back on the field. When you get it taken away from you, you take every chance you get to be back out here and really appreciate it. Really take the most out of it. There's just nothing better than being out here with the boys playing some ball. And of course, side note, he got a baby on the way. So what does that mean? More determination, more discipline. More of a reason to go out there and be great, homie. So I'm sure the baby, gave him more of a, more tenacity, more of a chip on his shoulder, dog. Now we got to really do it for somebody, right? Yeah, no longer just about him. It's about family for real, building a legacy for real. How great does he want to be for real, huh? Fuel to the fire, you ask me, homie. Period. Different ball game now. Let's get it. Head coach Kevin O'Connell raved about McCarthy's growth from year 1 to year 2. Yeah, he's healthy. He's done an unbelievable job, O'Connell said. You kind of forget the fact that excuse me. You kind of forget the fact that this is his first run away since the injury happened. I don't know why they do it in this black font, dog. Keep it the damn same. Hear me? I think it's just a credit to the work he put in. There's been a lot of lonely hours where it's him and the training staff and the strength staff. Just the work he's put in to get his body where he's at, and the arm feeling the way it is. And then, of course, coming off injury, his lower body feeling as good as it does to move the way he's doing. He looks great. He's feeling really good. Now we just got to stack a lot of really good days together this spring together. Let's get it. I would say the familiarity within the offense, McCarthy said, of his growth, just being able to regurgitate play calls and understand where guys are at, where they're supposed to be if they're not there. Yeah, the familiarity in the offense is the biggest change. O'Connell said that darn near 100% of the roster showed up to the voluntary OTAs, including wide receiver Justin Jefferson, whose connection with McCarthy is growing on and off the field. I think it's been huge, not only for JJ, but he's an energy igniter of the whole building. He's come back with a purpose and a mindset, O'Connell said of Jefferson's presence. And you can't beat that, homie. And the fact they're damn near 100%, that shows you where the mentality of the team as a whole, what their focus is, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to get accomplished. Showed you the leadership, the true grit and determination of this squad, of this roster, homie, period, dog. Heavy, let's get it. We're not where we want to be, but we're going to be there when we need to, McCarthy said. Noting that he enjoyed being mic'd up alongside Jefferson at a recent Timberwolves playoff game. On the field, it's all about getting as many reps as possible with Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Hockenson, Nailor, Brandon Powell, Ty Felton, and every other weapon he has at his disposal. And I pretty much already came over this. Let's get into some of this Will Fries action. Will Fries unlikely to be full force until training camp. Pretty much. That information is pretty much expected. It's almost hard to believe with how strong he is, O'Connell said, but we're being really smart just with the injury that it was. Knowing how we handled the spring, I don't know if we'll see him fully active this spring, but I have no hesitation to say that I'm really excited to see him when he's able to get out there. More than likely training camp, but there's still a chance we could see him in some bits and pieces of work over the next 2 weeks, but he's in a good spot. That's what's up, bro. You know, breaking his leg, that's a pretty horrific injury. And him bouncing back from that, O'Connell believing in him. We know he's a big, powerful dude, a mauler, call him a grizzly bear, a brown bear dog. He about that action. So yeah, him, Christian Darrisaw, similar situation. No need to rush him back. Let him rest. Let him be 100% prepared. You hear me? No questions, no second guessing. You know, foot on the gas, full speed throttle, baby. Full three spotter, full speed throttle. Heavy, you hear me? Yeah, man. Reputable Vikings insider doesn't think Jalen Ramsey speculations is crazy. Now, I ain't gonna even read this whole article, but I know it's been some speculation talk about Jalen Ramsey. I've spoken on it before. Don't got to spend too much time on it, right? I would love to have Jalen Ramsey at this point in his career, at this point in the Vikings' new regime, where they're at, where they're headed, the trajectory they're on and been on. Oh, hell to the yeah, bro. I think you lock in Ramsey somehow, depending on how much you give in draft capital, but you have a good, still very good elite player, veteran, experienced, very experienced, baby. Can help the younger players, put them in the right position. You can't coach that. You can't teach that, right? Natural thing. But I think Jalen Ramsey will be a great addition to the Vikings at this point, man. If they can get it done, get it done, bro. No ifs, ands, doubts about it, bro. Period, man. Let's get it, man. So this is pretty much a lot of news. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not gonna read all those stories. I don't think all of them have to do with minicamp anyway. But yeah, very, very, very good feeling about this team, this squad as a whole. About where they're at mentally, about where they're at physically, huh? About the relationships that are being built. And like McCarthy said, like KOC said, they're not where they want to be. They got a long way to go, but they will get there. And when the time is right, when it's time for real, when the games matter for real, I guarantee they're going to be on point, locked in like never before. You hear me? Like never before, bro. I stand on that 10 toes down. You hear me? Big SKOL Vikes, win, lose, or draw. Believe that round yonder. But that's it, man. News fresh out of OTAs. Here we go. Hey, it's rolling. Now the ball is rolling for real. Fire them comments up. Let me know how you feel about it, dog. How you feel about McCarthy. How you feel about the team as a whole. You know, like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Support the grind. Support the channel. Big SKOL here. SKOL Vikes forever. Win, lose, or draw. We run the North. Yeah.